Once upon a time, in a world where kindness was magic, a story waited inside an old and golden book. Turn the page. The tale begins. In a quiet village between gentle hills, life moved slowly and simply. Smoke rose from chimneys, birds sang in the trees, and in one small cottage, two very different girls grew up. Their mother was proud and cold. Fanny, the elder, was just like her. Together they sat, expecting the world to serve them, while someone else quietly did all the work. That someone was Rose. She swept, she scrubbed, she cooked, she carried. Not once did she complain. She simply smiled and kept going. Every morning before the village woke, Rose walked the long forest path to the well. Autumn leaves fell softly around her. The world was quiet, and she was at peace. But one morning someone was waiting. An old woman, wrapped in gray, sat alone by the well. She looked tired. She looked thirsty. Rose set down her buckets and went to her. Without a word of hesitation, Rose drew cold, clear water from the well. She held the bucket gently to the old woman's lips. She stayed until every drop was gone. Then Rose reached into her pocket. She had only one small piece of bread for herself. She broke it in half and offered it freely. The old woman took it with grateful, quiet eyes. Then something wonderful happened. The gray cloak fell away in a wash of golden light. The tired old woman was no longer there. A fairy stood in her place, glowing and still. The fairy looked at Rose with deep and loving eyes. "Your heart is pure," she said softly. "Every word you speak shall carry something beautiful." Rose bowed her head and whispered a simple thank you. When Rose walked home and began to speak, roses tumbled from her lips. Then diamonds. Then rubies. They scattered across the floor like a river of light. Her mother stared. Then her eyes went narrow and sharp. She grabbed Fanny by the arm. "Go," she hissed. "Go now. Bring us our share." Fanny dressed in her finest. She lifted her chin and swung her fancy jug. She did not walk with kindness in her heart. She walked with greed in her eyes. The old woman was there again, waiting. Fanny thrust the jug at her without a smile. "Drink," she snapped. "I have not got all day." The old woman watched her with calm and knowing eyes. Light came again. The fairy stood before her. Fanny's face lit up with hunger. "Now," she said, rubbing her hands together, "my reward." The fairy looked at her for a long, quiet moment. Fanny ran home as fast as her feet could carry her. She was already planning what to buy, already imagining the looks on people's faces, already certain she had won. She burst through the door and opened her mouth to shout. But what fell out was not diamonds. Toads hit the floor. Snakes came next. Fanny screamed. Her mother screamed louder. Fanny ran out of the house and kept running. Every cry brought more toads tumbling behind her. The village watched in wide-eyed silence, and she did not come back. Inside, the fire still burned low and warm. Rose sat in her corner, needle and thread in hand. A few roses rested gently on the floor beside her. She felt sorry for her sister, even now. Word of Rose had traveled far. One afternoon, a prince rode into the village. He had heard stories of a girl whose words bloomed. He came not for the diamonds, but for her. They stood in the afternoon light and spoke. Roses fell softly between them as she talked. But he never looked down at the gems. He looked only at her. On a bright spring morning, they were married. Petals rained from the sky. The whole village came. Rose laughed, and roses poured from her lips into the air. It was the most beautiful sound anyone had ever heard. And so Rose lived, with a full and grateful heart. Not because of diamonds, but because she had always known that kindness is the rarest gift of all.
The end.